Hey, welcome in. This is Gary Brackett, and I'm joined by my good friend Dave Peters, and we're going to talk about the housing industry. We're going to talk about how 2022 was crazy and what to look for in 2023. Dave is with Thrive Mortgage, and he's been a mortgage broker for over 24 years.
Yes.
Has a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information, and as a realtor, there's so many questions that are out there for people. And I think looking at last year, it was a roller coaster. It started off, home prices were going through the roof, mortgage rates were low, and then towards the end of the year, that shifted. Mortgage rates kind of went up, right? I don't know, they're at 6-7% now. Home prices kind of came down. So looking at 2023, what should we expect from the housing industry?
Well, rates are trying to stabilize right now. We're bouncing between the 6 and 6.5 right now. Doesn't mean we couldn't go back up to the 7, but we're in that 6.5 range. We're 20% more on inventory than what we were at this time last year, which is very positive. And the market has shrank. I mean, business is down 80% to where it was at this time last year. Those sound like negative numbers, but they're actually positive numbers for this market. You're seeing $20,000, $15,000, $25,000 reductions on homes. This needed to happen. This is stabilizing and balancing the market. And I think right now is the time to get out there at the beginning of this market stabilizing to get a good deal. And I say that because you're going to get a better price on your home now. Yeah, rates are higher. You're not married to a rate. Rates will come down again.
Right. So when you say 20% more inventory, you're talking about there's 20% more homes available than this time last year?
Yes. And that was a problem last year is I had a ton of people pre-approved that couldn't find anything because there was no inventory.
Right.
You'd have 10 to 12 people on a home and it was like a lottery.
Right.
And then people are paying $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 above list for these homes. Yeah, rates still at the beginning of the year were still lower,
right,
but they're paying compared to today, maybe $30,000 to $40,000 more than what they're paying today from what we're seeing. So if you do the math on that, it's actually a better time to buy right now with rates higher than when rates were lower and the competition was out of sight.
Right. So in terms of like housing and housing appraisals, so these housing appraisals in last year, and a lot of scenarios, people were bringing more to closing to account for the house, right? So I guess that house now, how do you think those houses appraised now if they were to get reappraised if someone were trying to sell in a climate when housing prices were through the roof?
You bring up a very interesting point there because you still have the comps out there from these higher values. But the homes aren't going to sell at those higher comps.
Right.
That's why I'm saying right now is a good time to buy because you're still going to get these appraised values because you have the comps out there still.
Right.
But you're going to get a lower value on the home. So right now at the beginning is a good time to get into these homes right now.
Right. So as a seller, if I'm selling my home, what should my expectations be? Because I'm looking at these comps too, and I'm like, hey, my neighbor sold for, $800,000, $700,000. Like, what should I list my house for? Is it going to sell for that? Like, what should I think if I'm a seller?
Well, first off, you need to listen to you, your real estate agent, and let them provide the landscape of the market in your area and not get caught up in something that happened 6-8 months ago because that ship has sailed.
Exactly.
And if you go out there and try to list what people were doing 6-8 months ago as a seller, your home will sit.
Right.
And then you're going to reduce price. You're going to reduce price again, and it's going to make you look desperate. And then people are going to come in and lowball you.
Right.
Again, this goes back to listen to your real estate professional. Let them guide you on the scope of the market and let them do the comps to price your home to sell.
Right. So we talked about the seller standpoint. They also need to know where they're moving to.
Right.
So what should a seller be thinking in terms of contacting a mortgage professional in terms of their next move, and how does that look like?
Well, it's interesting because we just have a newer product that's been in the market. We're kind of specific to having this to anyone in this market right now. It's called a home-to-home. That can be another discussion at another time, but it allows your seller to go out and get a home and still have their house.
Wow. Because I fall into that a lot where people want to sell their home, but they want to find a home first. And it's like tricky because they think they have to sell their home or have the loan or have the deal contingent upon me selling my home first before I buy your home. So you're saying there's a product out there that allows me to stay in my home, find a new home, and then put my home for sale.
Right. And then when the home sells, the equity is applied to the new home that you already have.
Wow.
So there's a lot more into it, but it's a great product. It's for the sellers. And it allows them to go get their home and not feel like they're up against an 8 ball to hurry up and find a home when their home sells.
Right. Now, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I know speaking with some first-time home buyers, speaking with people that maybe haven't bought a house in several years, there was always this misconception or this thought that they had to bring down and had to pay 20%. In terms of a down payment for a house.
Right.
Is that still true, or what kind of loans are available out there now?
So to start off, your first-time home buyers. There is a program out there for first-time home buyers conventionally. It's only 3% down.
Wow.
The rate is slanted to help them. So they're actually getting a lower rate than someone that had a home before. They have made this product so attractive to first-time home buyers this year that there is no loan level pricing, which means any add-ons for credit score.
Wow.
So you can have a average credit score and still get an unbelievable rate right now. So that's a great program, 3% down. You can use a 3% program down on people that have existing homes, but it's not considered a first-time home buyer program, so you're not going to get that kind of rate that a first-time home buyer will get.
Right.
Or you could do 5% down, 10% down conventionally. You still have your FHA product that's 3.5% down. So there's a lot of different avenues that we can take to get people in the home for a limited amount of down payment.
Right. Now, that's the down payment. There's more to buying a house than just a down payment. There's closing costs. There's some other fees as well.
Right.
So in regards to closing costs, what's a safe expectation on what you should have in terms of a percentage of the house in terms of closing costs to bring to the table as well?
Okay. So you got your 3%. You're looking on average for closing costs in the state of Indiana for title company, the whole ball of wax on a given loan. You're looking at, in that range. I would say on a $100,000 home, just comparatively, you're looking at a couple percent in closing costs compared off of a $100,000 home.
Right.
Now, the odd thing about that is, as home prices go up, that percentage goes down. The closing costs between a $100,000 home and a $400,000 home are very similar.
Right.
So, and there are ways as a lender that we can help you with closing costs, and there's a way as a realtor that you can help them with closing costs through the seller giving contribution to help them with their closing costs. And guess what? In the past 2 years, you couldn't get seller contribution.
Yeah, not at all.
Now you can.
Right.
Now the seller's, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to offer you this price, but I need seller contribution to help pay for my closing cost. That you can do that now. Back.
That's great. So looking at 2023 and the outlook, obviously we talked about rates somewhere in that 6.5%. So moving forward, your advice for someone on the fence about selling this year, what would you tell that person? Well, selling or buying, right? Because someone who sells probably isn't going to have to buy, or someone just buying their first home. Like, what would you tell them in this market?
If you're looking to sell, first you need to look and see, what did I buy this home for?
Right.
Okay, I bought the home 4 years ago. I bought it for $200,000. My realtor just came out in this market, and even with values stabilizing, say a year ago, realtor said my home was worth $350,000. But now in the market we're in, it's worth $320,000. You bought the home for $200,000.
Right.
Maybe you did improvements over the 4 years. Maybe you put $30,000 in it. You're still well ahead of where you were when you bought the home. So you're still in a great position. But now I'm going to turn around and buy another home, but I'm going to get maybe $20,000 to $25,000 savings if I would have bought it a year ago.
Yeah.
The math takes care of itself right there. It's still a great time to buy and sell. You're at the beginning of this market to where it's turning towards a buyer's market, stabilizing some. Get in at the beginning because you're going to get the most value at the beginning.
Right. That's awesome. Now, we talked about it, right? If you're a buyer or a seller, they need to reach out to a mortgage professional and get, a pre-approval letter, or just get options, right? Because if you go to a typical bank, they're pretty much locked into whatever they're offering, at that time period. So how does someone get in contact with you or your team to find out, what their situation is for them either buying or selling?
Right. So to directly contact me, it's dave.peters@thrivemortgage.com, or you can contact me at 317-370-1969. There is the petersteam.com on the internet that'll go directly to our website as well, that you can contact us.
All right, great. Well, I appreciate your time. We're going to do this periodically, hopefully weekly, just with updates. So we're going to answer questions. We're going to ask people if they have questions to send them into us so that we can make more videos, educate more people, because I think the buying decision, like you said, it's a good time to buy. You just have to be educated. You have the right team of experienced realtor and broker to make sure that you make a wise decision.
Absolutely. And in ending here, I just want to say, make this fun. Buying a home should be fun. And if you get with the right professionals, they can make the experience a lot of fun and very enjoyable for you and develop some relationships there.
All right. Hey, well, that's it for this episode of Housing Edition, right? Powered by the Peters team. And we want to come to you and answer your questions. So if you have questions about buying or selling your house, please put them below. We'll make sure in the next video that we'll link you and make sure that we answer that question in a timely manner. If you're in the market for a house, you could contact me at gary.brackett@axprealty.com. And I would love to earn your business and help you buy your home or sell your home in 2023.